So I set myself a sketchbook challenge and I kind of failed it, but also aced it at the same time. I don't know, come have a look at my sketchbook with me. So here we are. I created a sketchbook challenge for myself. I bought this little Moleskine sketchbook. So it's just one of those really kind of flimsy, thin papered ones that you get in the packs of 3, just the soft covered one. It's the A5 sized. I found one with a green cover and I was just like, I need it. I love this color, it's my favorite color. Now, before we get into talking about the sketchbook and other things, I just wanted to say hello. If you're a regular viewer, if you know who I am, hello, thanks for being here. I'm like sitting here in front of my microphone. I'm sitting in front of my microphone waving. Hello. But if you're new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Sophie. I'm an illustrator artist. I'm gonna say artist, based in Melbourne. I live in a forest. I walk around in the forest and I sit and look at it a lot. I love sketchbooks. I'm obsessed with my sketchbook. It's my main thing that I work in. I like to draw big, soft, curvy, swervy bodies covered in flowers, hairy legs, bendy, rhythmic, lots of flower power, lots of trees, lots of scribbles, lots of colors. I love color palettes and playing with colors. Yeah, I mean, subscribe if you like me, if you like my work and like the video, all that cool, fun, jolly good stuff that we love to say. Thank you for being here and I hope you really enjoy this video. Okay, enjoy. So the gist of the challenge, this self-proclaimed challenge that I set myself, was to fill up one of these sketchbooks in an entire month. I'm going to put my normal sketchbook aside just for a month, and I wanted to focus on being super scribbly, like stream of conscious style drawings, like really messy and just playful, experimental, layering. I didn't care if the pages got wibbly wobbly, crunchy, folded, bent, scrunched, whatever. I just wanted to make something for the sake of making something and have fun with it. So that was the challenge. That was the basic challenge. During the challenge, I have RSI in my hands, repetitive strain injury in my hand, in my drawing hand. That flared up really bad at the midpoint. Which stopped me from drawing. I think I stopped for about 3 or 4 days. I also had busy life stuff going on, went away for a few days, so a lot happened. I don't know, I chose a month, a busy month, but it was really fun at the same time. My point was to have no expectations or low expectations on myself for what I wanted to do or what I wanted this challenge to look like. So it was great. I think that kind of switched something in my head for me to have even more fun and be even more silly and ridiculous and scribbly in my sketchbooks than I already was. Like, I feel like I'm already quite loose and loopy-doopy in my sketchbook, but this time I took it to a slightly new level. But I did miss my normal sketchbook. I really missed my normal sketchbook. I had a really nice time sitting away from it for a little while and doing something new and playing with this sketchbook. But I did miss my normal sketchbook. So I ended up finishing the challenge early on like day 17 or 18. I can't even remember. And because, you know, I was gonna so I could see that I was finishing this sketchbook like halfway through the month, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll try and fill up another one and do 2 sketchbooks in 1 month. But I missed my normal sketchbook too much, so I finished the sketchbook and that's that one done, and I'm going to go back to my normal sketchbook now because I miss it. I love my sketchbooks and I like things to be in chronological order, so this one's a little bit of a dip out for half of my sketchbook, and now I'm dipped back in for the other half of my sketchbook. Yeah, so that's the gist of the challenge that I set myself. Yeah, so I failed it because, well, I didn't draw every day, and it's my challenge, my rules. I can change my rules if I want to change my rules. So I changed my rules. And I told myself that I didn't have to do it every single day because I need to look after my health. I need to have days off. I need to go spend time with my family and my doggies. So that was like the fail, not fail kind of situation. And I aced it because I filled the sketchbook before the end of the month. Woo! Yay, go Sophie. That felt good, didn't it? So yeah. We love to fill a sketchbook. I love the feeling of having an entirely filled sketchbook, especially when the pages are kind of crunchy and crinkly, and just love it. Paint everywhere. Give it to me. Yeah. I thought I'd talk about a couple of specific things when it came to this sketchbook. So if you've seen any of my other sketchbook tours, I can link them below for you because they're really fun and very cute. You can see how I'm kind of getting messier and scribblier as time goes on. But I have this huge thing about playing and experimenting and being silly and being lighthearted about having a sketchbook. That's how I like to have my sketchbook. That's how I like to use my sketchbook. I like to make silly stuff and playing with stuff. But I definitely have days when I only want to draw comfort zone drawing. Like, you've heard of comfort food, but comfort drawing? I think that's a big one for me. That's the way that I fill up a lot of pages, is by doing comfort zone drawings, because they make me feel good and I know I can do them, and it's cozy. It's a known thing. It's something I know I can do, and I know that I can do it well. So that's why I do them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's one thing I want to talk about in this video, which I'll get to in a secchi. Another thing is why I pre-blob my paper. PBMP. Why I pre-blob my paper. Why I like to splash paint around on my piece of paper before I do my drawing. So I'm going to talk about that. And also bad art days, or bad motivation art days. Bad art as in not necessarily the art is bad, but the making of the art is a bad time. So yeah, I want to talk about that. Yeah. Let's start with talking about why I like to pre-blob my sketchbook pages with paint and stuff like that. I think I did that with pretty much every page of this sketchbook, pretty sure. Maybe minus one or two, which is very unusual. I've been pre-blobbing my sketchbook pages. I say blob, but it's just like brush strokes, whatever, anything that I have, whatever. Sometimes it's finger painting smears, that sort of thing. I've been doing that for a while in my regular sketchbook, and I just love drawing over. I love the way it looks. But yeah, so I've been thinking about it a little bit lately, and it's got a lot to do with the fear of having a blank page in front of me, in front of my face, and not knowing where to start. Well, I'm not so afraid anymore. There were definitely times, like many times, when I was afraid to start a new sketchbook because of being afraid to ruin it. Starting a new artwork, I'd be afraid of ruining the lovely white clean piece of paper in front of me. All that kind of stuff, which I'm sure we have all experienced here and there. That's why a lot of people are so afraid of starting sketchbooks, or why they're so afraid of starting like drawing on the first page of a sketchbook. So when a drawing doesn't meet my standards, I feel like I want to tear the page out of my sketchbook or stick something on the top of it, which like of course is totally okay, and that's up to you, and it's however you want to do your sketchbook. But for me, I want to try to avoid that like fail feeling, and like wanting to tear out a sketchbook page is pretty drastic for me. Like I don't mind a terrible drawing here and there. It's fine. It like it shows me that I'm trying new things or playing or whatever. It shows me what I don't want to continue doing. Helps me to learn. But yeah, that fail feeling is a yucky feeling. And, you know, we all know that feeling. It stops us from being fully creative, from fully expressing ourselves and exploring new ways of drawing or making things. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. And so this is the way, like, I'm only speaking for myself here. This is the way that I have combated my fear of the white page. The way I have done that is by setting it on fire. No, not really. I haven't really set anything on fire. Not in a long time. No. Yeah, so the way that I've combated my fear of the white page is by painting speedy random blobs of colour on it first. That's how. I usually use like ink or watercolour or gouache, maybe whatever is left over from another thing I was working on, or I reactivate some dried watercolour paint or old gouache from an old palette. Sometimes I just get out the markers or the brush pens and scribble with reckless abandon all over the page. But yeah, I think that the blobs of colour on the page means, for me, that the page can't possibly get any worse. I guess the colours and scribbles are kind of nice looking. Like, they look really good to me, especially if I get the colour palette right. And because of that, they overpower any of the other drawings that I do on top of them, any of the bad drawings that I do on top of the paint blobs. So that's kind of cool. I also like using the random textures as a guide or drawing ideas. Sometimes the colors like spark ideas. Sometimes I just like blatantly draw right on top of them so you can't see them anymore. Use my colored pencils and scribble over all of them. Yeah, so, you know, I think to sum it up, it's just my way of removing the stark white page and colouring it in some way with splodges and blobbles. You know, because it can help make even a mediocre or a bad drawing look kind of okay. Or at least disguise it, push it back. Because, you know, when we flip the pages, you might be like, oh, colours, and not necessarily, I'm not even going to fix that word, look at the drawings, you're just looking at the colours, and then you're like, okay, next page. But, yeah, in a nutshell, that's it for me. That's why I do the blobbies. I've had a few comments asking about that, but yeah, it really helps, really helps. Even if the final artwork, you can't see any of it, I feel like it's part of the process. For me, it just, without it, I wouldn't have got anywhere. Thank you, blobs. I love you. Yeah. I use a lot of the colour blobby times on my bad art days as well. So maybe let's have a quick chat about bad art days. So for me, a bad art day kind of could look like, I don't know, sitting at my desk staring at my sketchbook for hours. No idea, total glazed look in my eyes. Or it's like the feeling of excitement to make and draw something, but my hand just isn't making the drawings of my hopes and dreams and desires. It's not listening. Sometimes it's the feeling, sometimes it's feeling pressure to make something, but you just don't feel connected. The drawing just doesn't feel connected to me. Or like, yeah, if it's a freelance job where I have to do something for a client, it just feels a bit too much, overwhelming, project is boring or tedious. Those are like bad art days for me. And it's weird because I could make a drawing that looks absolutely fantastic to someone, but to me, it was a massive struggle, and the end result kind of feels stiff or forced or disconnected. Something might be kind of off about it, but, you know, I'm the only one that would be able to tell, really. So, yeah, it's just funny how sometimes people, you know, they're like, but it's a great drawing, why are you being so hard on yourself? And it's not that it's not a good drawing, it's just that it doesn't, something's like not connecting there, or it just wasn't a fun process, so it's tainted. Yeah, bad art days don't always mean that you make bad art. They might be, like, maybe a better way to say it would be like a no motivation art day. They could be no motivation art days. Like, you can still draw something nice, but have no motivation or desire to even like pick up a pencil that day, you know. And if you do pick up a pencil, maybe it's a nice drawing, maybe it's a good drawing. But it was just like a struggle to get there. You know, those days where you like draw because you feel like you ought to draw. Like, I need to draw every day to get better, to keep my skills sharp and that sort of thing. But like, it's fine to take a day off. These bad motivation art days are a total killer for me. I hate them. Yeah, I get those days a lot. I get like bad motivation days a lot, or no motivation days a lot. No energy to make days a lot. They're my bad art days. Mine come from overworking myself, I think. And I'm still learning. My body and my mind signals like what my boundaries are towards my work. It is an always changing line. There is no one right way for me. My schedule can change a lot. My rhythms change a lot. And I'm 33 and I'm still learning this about myself. And I will be constantly learning this about myself, about what my boundaries are to my work ethic. And that has a really big impact on my bad art days, I think, is keeping a healthy rhythm, keeping a healthy distance. Yeah, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It's an always changing line. It's a wibbly wobbly line, and it always will be. So I hope you take some comfort in that if you're feeling a little bit like, you know, why am I so tired all the time? Why am I not in the mood to make art all the time? And I want this to be my job. It's like boundary setting, my friends. Let's get some rest. It's a weird world where everyone wants instant satisfaction, instant scroll, and if you don't post every single freaking day, that you'll get lost in the algorithm stampede in the gorge, you know, Simba's down there. So yeah, I think I'm saying some good stuff, maybe, I don't know. I actually had a TikTok video go viral last year, I think it was, and it was me just embracing my bad art day. My dip pen wasn't working well with the ink that day, the paper was a little low quality, so the ink was kind of bleeding through the paper, and the drawing was fine. It's just that the process was a massive drag. I got loads of comments on it exclaiming how the art was really good and that I shouldn't beat myself up about it. But I didn't feel any of those things at all. I didn't feel bad about myself or my art or anything. It's just like I've just come to terms with the bad art day or the bad art experience day. They happen. It's okay to let them happen. Those days help us grow, or they teach us when to take a break, stuff like that. Yeah, I try not to feel bad about having bad art days anymore. They just happen and it's like, ugh, that's annoying. Either I have to push through it because it's client work, or take a break, do a different task. It's fine. It's totally fine. They happen to the best of us. And yeah, so I deal with them by either trying to push through. Sometimes that works. Sometimes a little spark could be like, oh, it's working now. I love this now. All of a sudden, this is the best day ever. But it doesn't work every time. It doesn't work most of the time. 60% of the time, every time, it doesn't work. Or I just simply like put my paint down, close the sketchbook, go away from it for a while. Taking a day off helps me. Trying a new medium can help, but generally I just like go away from it for a little while. I'm trying to not be so worried about posting regularly, because that's just not what my body does. It's not how I work. I can't be like, let's create content and we have to do one video a week or one post a day and blah 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 blah. Like, I just can't do that sort of thing. I just go when the spark sparkles in my face. Yep. Yeah, which kind of maybe we can somehow lead into talking about comfort zone drawing. That's a very smooth transition to comfort zone talk. Comfort zone drawing talk. Yeah, so comfort zone drawing, kind of like comfort zone food eating. You know, the stuff that you go back to because it makes you feel good. It's the drawings that you know you can ace. Like, maybe you have like a type of character, like a certain original character of yours, or a fan art, I don't know, like a type of flower, whatever, that you keep going back to. That's your comfort zone drawing piece, and it can change, of course. Yeah, there are like so many articles and posts and art classes that always tell you to push the boundaries of your comfort zone, like get out there, get scared, try new things. When it comes to your own work, like to always do something weird and wild and scary, like. And, you know, I do agree with that on the most part, but sometimes I just also want to draw something within my comfort zone, within my safe little piles of bites that are inside my pocket, in my little personal library. I want to be able to pull one out and be like, I've drawn you before, I'm just going to draw you again. Because I feel like drawing, and I can't be bothered thinking up new ideas, or I'm feeling a bit vulnerable, I just need to whip out my old friend curvy swervy soft body holding a bird. That's what I want to draw. So yeah, you know, sometimes I'm just stuck for ideas, feel kind of blah, and I want to draw for the sake of drawing, to say that I drew for that day. Yeah, so my go-to thing, like what's my go-to thing? At the moment it's probably big soft bodies with big hips booping all over the place. Flowers inside squares, bunches of trees, greyhounds, just, you know, loose scribbly things really. I like how mindlessly I can compile shapes or colours and make them into something on a page. I mean, well, they don't always become something, but that's so fine. It's kind of more of a meditative thing in its own way, if you know what I mean. Yeah, comfort zone drawing. It is totally cool. You can do it and not feel bad about it. We don't have to be pushing the boundary every single drawing. It's okay to take a couple of steps back. It's okay to not progress at a super speedy speed, especially if you've been drawing or making art for a while. Like that, you know when you're starting or when you're learning a new medium or whatever, you level up all the time. It might be multiple times during a day. It might be a level up on the weekly or on the daily, or, you know, even like on the yearly. When you've been making art for so long, you have so many things in your library, so many skills that you've developed over the years that you can just pull out and use with ease. And sometimes you just CBF, mate. You just can't just be bothered. You just can't be bothered to work your brain. And that's fine. That's fine. Comfort zone drawings are the best thing in my book. Totally. And if you want to fill up your sketchbook super fast, comfort zone drawings, you know how to do them. You know how to make them work. So just keep doing them. It's fine. New ideas don't come so often. It's like, I heard a thing once. I can't quite remember who said it. I think it was at a lecture when I was studying. Anyway, there was a woman in a field picking her wheat, whatever she was doing, and a big rolling cloud came towards her, and her idea was riding an idea of hers, an idea of the clouds, I don't know, and an idea was rolling inside that cloud, and she was like, oh my god, there's an idea on that cloud, it's coming to me super quick, it's gonna like whish right past me and I'm gonna forget it if I don't get to a piece of paper and write down the idea or like sketch the idea before the wind swooshes right past me. So she like drops her wheat and goes running through the field, swoosh, 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 past all the wheat, opens her front door, gets to the desk, and as the wind brushes through her hair, past her ears, she grabs the idea and jots it down. Love that story, because there are so many times when, you know, I wake up at 1 a.m. with an idea and I'm like, I'll remember that in the morning, but I never do. And then it's gone forever. It's like the explosion of wind with my idea in it has just gone right past onto someone else, or just lost forever in the wind world. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Yeah, so what I was saying, to bring it back, new ideas aren't always the easiest thing to come by. They are sometimes hard to grab hold of. They are sometimes hard to realize. And that's why comfort drawings are okay. I would love to know what your comfort zone drawing is. If you have one or multiple, let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to see what people's comfort zone things are. I feel like this little sketchbook is kind of full of my comfort zone style of drawing. Yeah, I can definitely say that with 100% certainty. This is my comfort zone sketchbook. I mean, sketchbooks are meant, well, it depends how you use it. You can use it any way you want. But to me, my sketchbook is meant as a place for experimenting, trying new things, pushing the comfort zone. And yeah, but you know, most days, CBF. Most days I just want to like draw something just to warm up. Even comfort zone drawings are great for just warming up. If you're feeling a bit like you need to shake the rust off in the morning, comfort zone drawing, then you can get into the hard stuff, the client work, the working on bettering your technique for this or for that. Yep, there we go. That's my talk about comfort zone drawing. Hope you enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed doing this little sketchbook challenge. It's been really nice to do something a little bit different. I mean, it's same but different to what I usually do. It's been nice to kind of fill an entire page every time. In my normal sketchbook, I might have a whole spread with a lot of little drawings all over it, but this was nice to just focus on one scribble drawing per page. And you can see that I didn't all the time draw on the left-hand side of the spread. It was just my way of getting through the sketchbook faster, and it's something that I don't usually do. I don't usually only draw on one side. And, you know, the ink bleeds through this paper really well, a little too well. So on some of the inky pages, I just kind of didn't want to make more ink going through to the previous pieces. So I don't know. I'm just trying to make up reasons why I didn't draw on the left-hand side. It's fine. It's fine. It's nice. I also, as I said before, I have RSI in my hands, and I had a really bad bout of RSI, like really flared up. It's a mixture of things from doing, because I press really hard with my pencils, with my Prismacolor pencils. It's a mixture of that, and I've been doing a lot of ceramics lately. I've been doing a lot of building. I've been using my power tools, because I love a good power tool. I've been using my power tools, and it's just all been a bit too much for my poor little weak hand. So I ended up giving myself a few days off while making this. The last few pages that you're looking at now, you can kind of tell that I had a sore hand, and I was just trying to get through the pages, and they didn't really spend much time on them or much love with them. So yeah, I think that kind of shows. Well, for me it shows. You might not be able to tell, but I can tell. Yeah, so my scribbles are just a little thicker, a little rougher. My designs are not quite as tight, or my details aren't quite as tight as some of the other drawings are in the sketchbook. Again, totally fine. I'm not putting myself down. Sophie, stop saying these things. No, I'm just explaining myself. I don't care that the drawings, the last few drawings aren't at the same level as some of the other ones in the sketchbook. Fine. It's my sketchbook. My sketchbook challenge. It's all good. It's all good. But no, I really did like it, and I really like this little sketchbook. I'm really fond of it. It's got some good feels, good vibes. As you can see earlier, I went to an alpaca farm with my friends Karima and Lucy, and that was just the best. So there's like some really cute little memories in there. Yeah, and I think when I finish my sketchbook that I'm working on now, I'll go back to these Moleskine ones. I've got 2 more. It came in a pack of 3, and I'm going to finish the 2 in this kind of style, I think. You know, I'm prone to forgetting, so I'll probably finish this sketchbook and the sketchbook I'm working on currently, not this one, and completely forget that I set that intention just now. But anyway, who cares? Whatever. So yeah, thank you for watching my sketch. This is the last page. The yellow was super textured. It was really fun to draw on, and I don't usually use black and black pencils. I've been using a lot of black pencils in this sketchbook, and it's been really fun to explore a darker palette. And yeah, I just loved the way this black pencil went on the textured yellow. I don't know why it did that. Just weird. It was a Winsor & Newton yellow. Weird things happen with those yellows. Yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you. And while I've got you, I want to say a extra big special thank you to my patrons, who I love so very, very dearly. And without, I couldn't be like a full-time artist. If you love my sketchbooks and my sketchbook drawings, I post to my Patreon a big sketchbook dump once a month. I've got some floating around on my Instagram as well. Yep, that's about it. Thank you so much for being here, and if you would like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.